showtime.
SlabHub.
Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. It's Rob here in front of the great wall of comics. And with me, as always, the man to my left, the man up north, the man up across the border, Chris the comic vet. How are you doing today, sir?
Wonderful, man. How are you? How's the
I am
family?
pumped and excited. My family is great, and they are out of the house for the most part.
Okay. So,
went
innuendo,
to go
here we
grocery
come.
They went
Oh,
grocery
get right off
shopping.
the bat.
They went to go get
right off
food.
the bat. Innuendo, here we come. Right off the boom.
Yeah, right. There you go. All over the place. Let's get it started. Let's bring in our guest today. You might know him on Instagram as the Sultan of Slabs. Ryan, how are you doing today, sir?
How are you guys? I'm doing great.
Awesome. Ryan, you have an incredible mix of comics on your IG feed that excited me to no end when I came across it. And I was so happy that you agreed to come on the show here today and continue our summer of greatness. No pressure.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to showing these off. I always love showing comics off whenever I can.
Yeah,
I
who
was-
doesn't
I was-
love show and tell?
Right. I was creeping his Instagram. Do you still call it creeping nowadays? Anyways, I was checking out his Instagram, and I'm like, about a month and a half ago, once Rob locked down that the Sultan of Slabs was going to make an appearance. So I went through and I'm like, my God. And it's been marked in my calendar ever since. So this is one that I definitely couldn't miss out on being here. I can't wait to take a look at your collection, man, up close and personal. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be good.
And everybody who is here for maybe the first time, of course, make sure you're paying attention and sticking with us throughout the show. Halfway through, we're going to pause. We'll throw up the hashtag of the day, and you'll enter that in. We'll do a random comment grabber for your chance at pull, or you'll get a chance to pull 6 books from our box of books at least. Could be extras. There are now actually, you can pull an empty bag and board that says Slab Comic on it. And we have some Slab comics now that, because what's SlabHub without the chance to win slabs? And as well, of course, you know, Chris the comic vet keychains, SlabHub merch, including the mug.
The mug. Like
The
the
mug.
Ohio, like the Ohio State it is. The mug.
Yeah, the SlabHub mug. Right, exactly. And of course, you know, we'll do it again at the end of the show. But first, it's time for Romper Room. Let's say hello to some of our friends who've stopped by. That's the new segment. We're officially calling it Romper Room. I need to make an intro for that now. Shop for Comics, my friend and Spider-Man enthusiast. How you doing? Happy to have you stop by. Of course, Liz Carucius, always ever present, allegedly in New Mexico. I always like to add that. Kenneth Bird, very happy, a big supporter of everybody here on YouTube. I think I've checked out 3 different streams today so far, and Kenneth Bird has been there. Thank you for everybody that your support, for people like you who support those of us who say, look at me. G. Mahalo, happy to have another Canadian in the room. It makes Chris
really?
feel a little bit less lonely. Brian,
Yeah.
Brian LCS. Of course, Brian's stopped by with him this morning while he was having Brian with breakfast. I
Great
happen to
going
be
today.
cooking bacon because, well, bacon.
Whoa. Canadian bacon?
No,
Oh, all right.
good old pork belly sliced American brown crispy bacon. Then fried my eggs in that large amount of bacon fat grease because that's how it tastes best. So we go. Gary B, the casual comic guy. Thanks for coming on by. Joe from Anachronic Comics.
Joe.
The chores are done. Oh, well, then sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. There he is. The king of all nerds, Mr. Taylor Winder, is here. You'll be happy to know Chris is ready to roll if you haven't already heard. And let's see, Chop and Drop. Of course, another one, always there supporting us out here. We much
Yeah,
appreciate
one of the
you.
nicest guys in the community.
It is, in fact, slabbing time. Forget all those morphins. We're going to get going. All right. So without further ado, let us bring Ryan to the forefront. And Ryan, welcome to SlabHub. I love the background. It works just as well as mine does. We need to
I
get
had to move
together
my
and,
computer for this, so
well, we need to talk
appreciate
to Chris about how we do a backdrop, you know,
Yeah.
but you know,
Yeah.
anyways.
Whatever.
Let's get started. Why don't you introduce yourself, and then let's just get digging into some comics.
All right, my name's Ryan. I I would say, seriously collecting slab comics for about 4 years now, which is, I wish I got in a little bit earlier with the prices they've gone to, but
Well, the good news is they're going back down.
exactly.
If
So
for,
luckily I
from
was
a
able to get
buying
on some good
standpoint.
stuff early.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as far as what I read, I'm not much of a superhero guy myself.
Okay.
When I tell people I collect comics, their first thought goes to Spider-Man and Batman
Right.
and everything. But I'm primarily an image comic reader, the non-superhero independent stuff, and I have a lot of that. But my collecting focus is on Golden Age. I'm a big I love history, and I love kind of an immersive look at history, and a lot of Golden Age comics are able to really immerse yourself in what things were like back then.
Yes. Very. And I'm sorry for all. I can love each generation's group of art, but the Golden Age art is just
Great artists.
so amazing. Holy cow!
A lot more painted work then too.
It wasn't also just. It wasn't rushed. I mean, to be honest, I mean, there was. Don't get me wrong. I was looking at two different books. I was looking at a Startling Comics and a Thrilling Comics the other day, both Schomburg covers. And initially, my gut was, "Oh my God, he freaking covers! He just changed the coloring on the hero punching, and the villain is getting punched. It's like the exact same cover." But then, like upon further inspection, I saw you'd see no, the gaps and the angles are slightly different stuff. No, he basically, yes, still kind of copied the same type of thing, but it wasn't like he just had the colorists change the colors or something on an existing drawing or something. But I don't know. There's something about the way they drew and did their art. I just love it.
And those Schomburg covers always have so much going on them. It's exciting. It's an exciting cover to look at.
Well, he's got a good variety. I mean, because there's a lot of them that when you first ones that come to mind are the ones that are so much going on. But
Right.
then there are some that are very simple, just 2 or 3 elements going on with a lot of blank space, which this then allows those details that could come out on those individual characters and heroes. But all right, let's dig into this. I'm excited. What book did you decide warranted being the very first to kick off your appearance?
I want to
here?
ease into it a little bit. So I
Nice.
decided
It's always
to pick
good.
something-
It's always good to a little foreplay,
Yeah.
tease, get them excited. Yeah.
This is a book that kind of emphasizes what I enjoy reading. It's a book I got a while back, the Saga 1,
Oh.
9/8. I bought this from a dealer at Boston Comic Con. He had a box full of them, actually. It was kind of funny. I remember
Was
going
his
to the
name
comic-
Comic Man Andy?
I don't remember who it was. I don't remember.
Comic Man Andy was on the show, and he must have showed off
13 or
30.
14,
I don't know.
yeah.
It seemed like forever. It was one after another different.
different styles of Saga 1
Oh, yeah.
in
some rare
particular.
variants
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Even the one from India. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a book I just love reading. So I had to get one for myself just because I enjoy the book.
Yeah, I hear a
And
lot.
I
of great things
remember
about
when
it.
this came out in the comic shops, and I had it in my hand, and I was looking at it, and my first thought was, "This is stupid. This is a weird book," and I passed on it and didn't read it for maybe about a year or two later. And it turned out to be actually a really great book, and I regret not buying it.
Yeah, I mean, the cover doesn't sell itself to me. That's for sure. I haven't read it, but
Well,
everybody
I-
tells me I need to.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. And it's in keeping in that theme of what I enjoy reading, and probably more in line with the show, this is a Sex Criminals 1. I'm not sorry,
Yes.
Sex Criminals
Yes.
11.
That was-
Yeah, a Nintendo
Sex
game
Criminals
cover variant, nice.
look at that. We're getting right into some Canadian content early.
Yeah,
Chip Zdarsky. Love it.
I was hoping you'd appreciate this.
Yeah.
But it's a great series. Have you read the series?
I've read later issues before the series stopped. I know they're talking about actually bringing it back, but yeah, I read some of the later stuff, and yeah, a lot of it in the comic shops, as we all know, was black bagged because of
Yep.
covers like this. But
Exactly.
yeah,
This is one of the
that's awesome. Like totally the
And-
whole Mario mushroom flavor with
get the Nintendo package.
Yeah, that is insane.
I'm an old school Nintendo guy, so this was great.
that is
And one of the
awesome.
most appealing things about this series is actually the letters column. If you read it, it has
yeah.
an amazing letters column that really kind of became almost the focus of what people were reading it for.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy when your letters column takes over. People come to read the letters column. Oh, and there, by the way, there happens to be a story here too.
It's great. All around, great book. But then,
Dear
as
Playboy
far as
Penthouse.
what this is when I
Dear
started.
sex criminals.
And after that, I kind of started dabbling in buying bigger books.
Look at
And this
Canada's
is one
in
of
the
the
house
first
with
books.
James Willie. Sorry.
Sorry. This is one of the first books I remember spending an okay amount of money on. I spent about maybe $100, which for me, buying a comic book was a lot at the time. And I was always a big Flash fan because of his Rogues Gallery. So I tried buying, first appearance of Rogues. And Captain Boomerang, just the name alone is such a silly sounding villain. And that's what appealed to me about the Flash series.
So
go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say the signature we're looking at is Joe
Giella.
Wow. Incredible. Rob, go ahead.
Terrificon, I believe. And super nice guy.
And I was going to say, well, I admit that I'm not a Flash guy. So is this the first appearance of Captain Boomerang? Or
Right, this is the first appearance of Captain Boomerang.
Right, who's now become a little bit more of a focal in pop culture with because of his time with Suicide Squad. But yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's I didn't know that was what he looked like when he first showed up. That
Very
is,
different.
yeah,
it's inspired. It's definitely inspired by.
It's
It's inspired by his Australian heritage. Wait, no. Mad Spidey just hit me in the back of the head from.
And then from there, this isn't the original one I bought, but it's the kind of stuff I like. Again, not a big superhero guy, but Swamp Thing was always kind of superhero adjacent. He was off in his own world a lot of the time. There were crossovers with superheroes, but
that is a very popular character amongst the crowd that I've seen come across here. This is probably like the third time I think this book has made its way to SlabHub, and it is a great book. And it's one of those ones that actually making me think that maybe I need to add one of these to my collection. Wouldn't be the first time a book shown on SlabHub ended up on my wall.
It's a grail for me for 2022. I gotta admit, Swamp Thing is one of the best reads that I read as a teenager during the Alan Moore years. But a lot of people may not realize, but the Swamp Thing that's being published right now with Ron V at the helm is arguably the best DC book out there today, especially with the whole introduction of Parliament within the Swamp Thing world. Swamp Thing is just one of those characters. It just seems everyone that shows up on this show seems to have a lot of respect for. So yeah, like Rob's right. We have seen this issue a few times, but it's a classic cover now. It's getting its homage now. Finally,
it's always good to see
things.
It's always good to see the greatest hits come up and remind everybody, because everybody's got some, and it really reminds you that is a book that is respected by a lot of people, even if it's not. When you think of Silver Age or Bronze Age books, it's not necessarily the first book that comes to your mind, but it's a solid, respectable book that shows that if you have it, I think if you have it, people recognize that you're a serious collector, right? You're not just some Joe Blow scooping up a few books here and there, calling yourself a collector if you got House of Secrets in your PC.
So that's some, modern, some Silver Age stuff, Bronze Age. But like I said, I'm primarily a Golden Age focused collector, and Golden Age took a while to learn. There's a lot of stuff in the Golden Age. There's a lot of stuff that's very valuable. There's a lot of stuff that's, just not particularly expensive. So I had to figure out what's worth something, what's worth collecting, what's not. And I've looked at a lot of different books.
And what's worth paying for.
Exactly. And this is the book that really kind of sold me on Golden Age, just from the cover design and the art. This is and I finally got one. It's my Venus #1.
Oh, boy.
Beautiful book. Just the kind of the white, the hair and the dress with the black background. And
that is the thing about it. This is from what? This is from 50 or
this is 48.
48. So think about the book from 1948, a 6.5, all that black.
Yeah.
That
black covers. Nowadays they're hard to read.
It is impressive. That is a great book.
Wow. Who's the publisher?
This is from Atlas, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, Atlas.
Yeah, I have my eyes on a Venus book I'm watching right now. But
wow.
Yeah, and a lot of those later ones are the pre-code horror. When they start changing to pre-code horror, those are worth a good bit too. Venus 19, I think it is a popular one. Don't have that yet. But
Wow.
I come from a time like, the 90s when, women on comic covers, all,
Yeah, no, I mean
skimpy
that's
outfits and huge muscle. It's a weird time. But this kind of artwork is much more appealing to me.
yeah, it's sexy without being exploitive, right?
Yeah.
And I did the same thing. I didn't start collecting until the 90s. Uh, and but I've come into this realm where, yeah, the nice thing, and actually what you said is actually the nice thing about Golden Age. There are really expensive books out there, but there's a lot of them that are actually very reasonable and still show off some of those stylings. I mean, that's when I started my first bit in Golden Age, was intentionally going after some of the books that aren't super expensive, but still had beautiful artwork, beautiful covers, or some of the famous cover people on them. But maybe it wasn't like attached to the most desirable of the items. But you can start to have that and appreciate and start to build up a sampling of that type of stuff. And then as you learn more about them, then starting to expand and take those steps into some of the more expensive covers if you choose.
Yeah. And then what I also decided to do is, with my Golden Age collection, is I want to try to pair my comics. I like to buy one issue and then buy another issue that has a similar theme to the cover. It could be a direct homage. It could be simply a theme somehow. And this is a two-parter. You probably know what the second book is, but the first one is
That's a classic right there.
Wings 94, with the girl tied to the front of the plane. Bondage is always great. I always love bondage covers.
Yes. Well, and so does everybody else in the.
And of course, this goes with.
Yes, Captain Science.
Captain
Nice.
Science. 6. Yep. So collecting homage covers are always fun. This is from 48, and the Captain Science is 51, so 3 years apart. This one's, the war themed, and the Captain Science is a science fiction theme. The kind of aliens in the saucer, or zombie aliens or something.
Right, and from what I've seen, for the most part, was great. So
awesome.
the homage, actually, the Captain Science, because it's science fiction, tends to go for more than the Wings does.
Mm-hmm. Right. And
I
I'm
always
actually a scientist myself.
Oh yeah.
So Captain Science covers are always fun because it always makes me feel like I'm doing more with my job, but
because you tie up women, you tie women to the front of your plane, flying from escaping from UFOs.
Never had to do it.
Huh? I've been lied to.
So those are a couple fun covers I have, and then that one's a direct homage. Now these next two are kind of more just similar in theme.
Mr. Mystery.
This is one I've been after for a couple of years. It's a low grade one. I could use an upgrade. It's got this white scuffing all over the cover, but it's still one of my favorite pre-code horror covers. Little zombies, torture wheel.
Right. Who's the? Was this? I think we had this last week. It looks very similar.
Well, I think Lee may have brought on this similar. Yeah, because I do remember the woman on the wheel with guy in the background in the archway and stuff, everything else. Yeah, but I mean, so what? You saw an amazing book twice.
But I don't remember it being Mr. Mystery. Yeah. Interesting.
And then this has the girl on the torture wheel, and the next book is again similar in theme. Oops, no, here it is. It's another girl tied to a torture wheel with skeletons. So this is kind of a pair of two books.
Nice. That's a nice, interesting way to go about it. Is kind of pick these kind of connection covers and stuff. That's kind of cool.
And there's a lot of different ones. There's a lot I have one of that I'm trying to get the matching one to, and it gives you kind of something to look for, some goals to collect.
So who's the artist, Ryan, for this cover?
This one is A.C. Hollingsworth.
Okay. Terrific.
This one's a bit higher grade, so it's a little nicer to look at.
Very cool.
SlabHub is a gateway drug to spending too much money.
True.
And the other focus of my Golden Age collection, which is, you've already seen a couple, but I try to get anything with girls tied to wheels, specifically wheels. So here's a nice Fight Comics. And a,
Yeah.
similar in
Yeah,
theme,
it's
there's a Rangers
totally
25.
upside down. Yeah.
Yep. Rangers 25 has that kind of theme.
Rip Carson
I love the name.
and Tiger Girl.
Captain Fight. Yes.
He was kind of predestined. If his name was Captain Fight.
Yeah.
He's not an emissary of peace then.
Oh. Captain Fight in Fight Comics.
I'm a huge fan of Fiction House. All the Fight Comics, Rangers comics, Wings, all that stuff. Fiction House does a great job.
They are. Good stuff.
And then this is one that's half of a pair. I don't have the second one yet. It's another Fight. I
On the
count
top.
propellers as wheels because they spin around. So
Wow.
this one's a little harder to find. That's why it's lower grade.
It's gonna be tied really tight to her around her knees, because otherwise her skirt is self-gravity defying.
Wow.
So the book I'm trying to pair with this one that I haven't bought yet, it's a Airboy Volume 4, Number 8, but it also has a girl tied to a propeller. So it makes a good match for this one.
Very good. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So towards,
Do it.
I think we're at the end of the Golden Age run now. I have one more to show off.
All right.
And this is the one I got from Lee, actually, on Instagram.
Oh,
Great
yes.
LV color cover.
Yeah. Let's make you big for that.
Wow.
And now that I think about it, this one actually does have the kind of matching pair with his Startling Terror Tales number 11, which also has one of his skull spiders on it.
Right. Yeah. And when was this one? When did this book come out?
This one was from 45.
45. Yeah.
My God.
Very nice. You see the backside on it? I just want to know what the ad is on it. Oh, just a boring one. That one. Auto repair job.
Yeah, no bodybuilding or anything like that.
Well, yeah. Sometimes you get
Rifle.
you get the rifles or the shoes, right? Which are very colorful ads, or but which they could use some shoes. Those poor kids on the front cover there. They're kind of
Yep. Yeah, the LB Cole. I didn't initially like his art style, but then the more I saw of it, the more it kind of grew on me.
yeah. I've kind of heard that from a few people. It's depend. I think it also changes the longer he was doing stuff. So some of his earlier stuff was, at least some of the stuff I have, some of the earlier stuff is a little more cartoony. But
Actually, I like his kind of cartoony stuff. He has a Santa Claus. He has some Santa Claus books he does. I love LB Cole's Christmas stuff. It's
okay.
You don't see a lot of it, but it's kind of cute. I don't mind cute stuff.
Santa Claus comics are a big collector's hole right there too.
Yeah,
You
So
can
that's
fall
it.
down.
I want to give Silver Age fans a little something. So that's the end of my Golden Age run for now.
Okay.
But I'm also I buy comics for investing as well. I have a personal collection, then an investment collection, and this is one of the comics, the first comic that I spent quite a bit of money on. Thought I was crazy at the time, but
Now you're laughing. Oh yeah.
Oh,
FF5?
boy.
This is when the Fantastic Four talk was about the movies coming to the MCU was just kind of, there were rumors and it was heating up a little bit. So I thought that would be the best time to just pull the trigger on this.
Wow. Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
let's see. In a 3.0.
Yep.
Yeah, right now,
White.
FMV on a 3.0 right now is showing at about 10 grand.
Yeah. Yeah, I got this for a 2,800 at the time. So
Yeah, so even if you came up 20% short, you're on off of FMV, you're still good.
yep. No, I was real happy
Cool.
about this now. I
Yeah,
got this from Ted and the Boys at Super World.
nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And wait till Doom shows up.
Yep. This is one I'm just holding.
Never mind the Fantastic Four. Wait till he
Right.
shows up.
Right, exactly. That is an awesome book to have.
Yep. One of my
Excuse me.
favorites. And I'll show one more.
Mhm.
Let's see. This is another one. You know, rumors of the movie were coming out.
Oh, that starts filming very soon.
Yep. So I'm probably gonna get rid of this sooner than later, probably.
Can't wait for the
But-
trailer. And the
Yeah.
8.5 first appearance of Blade. That is terrific.
Yep. I got this for I think 1,000 at the time when I bought it. So
Let's see, what is it? This is Tomb of Dracula at 10.
and I pay a lot of attention to page quality. It's another off-white white. I try not to buy things that are, cream. I try to keep it off-white. But
Yeah.
some of the rare Golden Age books you have to.
Yeah.
But Silver Age stuff, off-white or better, I stick to.
About 3,500.
My goodness.
I can sell this, buy myself a real nice Golden Age book with it.
That's right. That's exactly it. I mean, and the key is sometimes is you sell it just once the. I mean, there's some people who want to try to hit the peak. I don't know about you, but like for me on some of my investment stuff, like my Submariner stuff, like that I had bought for investment stuff, I'm starting to release it now because it's like, okay, there's enough rumors, people know it's solid, and I can open up my market to the speculator still who thinks he's going to be able to still flip it down the road as the market continues to heat up, but I can make my 4 or 5 times what I paid for it and be happy and let somebody else make some money off of it or keep it and feel like they got a good deal.
Yep. I made the mistake of holding my Why the Last Man stuff for too long. I thought that was going to be a big hit, but I love the story. I'm a big Brian K. Vaughan fan. I love Why the Last Man. I thought it was going to be a hit, but
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a big
Yeah,
book.
no,
to hold.
even well, I mean, we know he's coming, so that's definitely that. But there's a whole slew of reasons why that book is probably could be considered a blue chipper nonetheless. In long haul.
the other one is back here is the Strange Tales 110, which I guess the multiverse movie didn't get as big a reception as I was hoping. There were some mixed feelings on it, but it was a good movie, but I don't know if it really kind of catapulted this book up the way I was hoping it would.
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely some mixed reactions on it.
Yeah. As far as first appearances, this is still a relatively affordable book for a pretty major character. So this is one I just want to hold on to, and I think there's room on it. He's not on the cover, which probably hurts it. But
Paste Pot Pete, though.
yeah, exactly. Ace Pot Pete and who's the other guy? The Wizard?
The Wizard.
Yeah.
But Paste Pot Pete, that's like a guy. I mean, there's almost like a whole group of. There's people I know that are like just into collecting Paste Pot Pete appearances and stuff. It's like, really?
Yeah.
So when it comes to Silver Age, this is what I try to stick to. That major first appearances, things that are just going to be popular, blue chips. I don't like gambling on the modern stuff, where every new character is going to be the next big thing, seemingly.
Right.
And because when you do stuff like that, you've really got to be quick. You've got to buy and sell immediately, and it's. I have a full-time job, so I don't have a lot of time to do this.
Yeah.
So I like things I can buy, sit on, and sell them whenever I have the time.
Yeah, you got to use your science. You got to use your science to make our own real superheroes.
Right. Great book.
Let's do the last one I have. It's just it's a low grade ASM 129.
Boom. All right. First appearance of the Jackal. Love it.
Yep.
Love it. Glad that you pulled out ASM 129 to show off the Jackal. That's great.
Yeah. He's very important because we still continue to see the instances of the clones still keep coming around.
But
This
yeah,
is one I bought real low grade that I, put some time into. I got it professionally cleaned. I I have a press myself, so I was able to do some work myself. And I got maybe a couple $100. So, long run, it was a pretty good
It
buy.
was, it was a good buy considering they're selling right now for it looks like the most recent sales and stuff have been around just over $900 between
Yeah.
900 and
Yep.
950
Sounds
for a
right.
3.0
wow.
on that book. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong. I was looking at 2.0, 3.0 between 1,000 and 1,200. So yeah, I think you did okay.
The white back covers
Oh,
get real
but it
dirty.
has the Evil Knievel stunt
Yeah.
cycle. Yes. Oh my god, I
The
love
loudest
the Evil
toy
Knievel
of the
stunt.
70s.
Dude, that was my favorite, man. We had that thing jumping over Tonka trucks for freaking days. That was just awesome. All right.
We show a couple more, and then we can take a break if you guys want to.
Okay.
Sure.
We're gonna go back to the Golden Age stuff that I love. This is my PC. This one I just thought was a great cover. Rangers
Ranger
back to Fiction
Tom,
House.
yeah,
I love
look at
Fiction
that.
House.
Now she's tied to the front of a tank.
Yep.
My God. In the jungle.
In
Jungle
the
warfare.
jungle.
Again,
Oh, sorry.
This is an Art Safe cover. Art Safe. Yeah. It's all around great artwork. Kind of
What
a
year is
fun-
this one?
This one is 44.
44. Okay.
Right. Oh, I see the Japanese flag on the side there.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the
Yeah.
Japanese.
Japanese tank,
Okay.
yeah.
Very cool. Is that an Atlas book then?
This one is Fiction House.
Okay.
Can you bring it a little closer? I want to see because I know they go through phases on how they draw or characterize the Japanese on some of these books. So it's
This
just
is a little more realistic.
okay, not as much caricature.
Yeah, this isn't like the kind of more propaganda.
Yeah,
Blurred stuff.
very degrading. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And the second one I was going to show. This is a fun one. I wanted this one for a long time, and I finally got a low grade one, real low grade. But this is my exciting 39.
Yes,
Real
Black
wild
Terror.
Schoenberg cover.
Yes. Look at it. They got the German outside the window with talking to the kids. And
Yeah, they're poisoning the candy bars, handing them out to the kids outside. It's just a 1.0, but it's got no notes, and it's a beautiful cover because it's missing this.
big section of the back page. Yeah.
Yep.
Which-
Nobody's buying this
okay.
for the back page, so I think it's a great book.
Yeah, and this is where I've talked about before on some of these shows is that not all grades are created equal, right? It's like
Yep.
it depends on what you're doing. If I'm hanging it on my wall, I don't need a back cover on a single one of these unless I'm a grade whore. And I would much rather have a book like that where it's missing a good chunk of, if not the whole back cover, than have one where it's the front covers and back covers are all solid, but the front cover's scuffed to pieces and
Exactly.
it doesn't present very well.
One thing I think is funny about this cover, I think it might go unnoticed a lot because you got this big action in the front here with the Black Terror punching out the Nazis, but in the back, you've got his sidekick over here. He's aiming at the Nazi out the window who's about to hand it. Those kids are seconds away from watching a man's head explode.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's going to
Awesome.
save them from the poison candy, but oh my God, they're going to remember that.
They'll need some psychological help, except that this is the 40s, so we'll just pat them on their ass and send them
Yeah.
out and tell them to go play. Why don't you go beat something with a stick? You'll be fine.
Go to the swimming hole. You'll be fine.
This is one of my favorite Golden
Yeah,
Age
I love
covers.
Black Terror.
Yep. Black Terror, fighting Yank, all those guys.
Yeah. Excellent. Awesome. All right. So let's go ahead and add. We'll add to our stream here. Guys, go ahead and hit hashtag show me the gold. Show me the gold. And we will go ahead and use that for our puller for our first giveaway. Chris, what's coming up, sir, while we're for you this week while we're doing this?
Well, I actually just over an hour ago dropped a top 5 May covers for 2022. It's a little bit of a labor of love. So if anyone's interested after SlabHub, maybe take a look at that video. It's showing off my top 5 favorite covers that I got in the month of May. Tomorrow, I just edited and got ready for 2 cool guys who have picks to drop. They'll be dropping tonight at midnight, actually, bright and early, for Sunday. And Monday, in the can is a brand new Walmart video where I'm going to be opening 3 Marvel packs. No DC this time. 3 Marvel packs. And yeah, there are some bangers in amongst that. So if anyone's interested, make sure that you check that out. And yeah, Rob, congratulations on your new milestone. I saw Gary say earlier that you rolled over 800 subscribers.
Oh, that was something like last week or something. Something like that. I don't pay attention.
Congratulations.
Thank you, though.
It's hard
I
to be
appreciate
humble.
I really, I've said it several times. I really don't care. I appreciate it. I'm not tracking it because I'm not trying to monetize or anything else. Right now, the only thing I want to do is just pass Taylor Winder just because it'll bug him. Hey, guys, if you're looking to have your books pressed, why not check out the guy who presses my fat stacks of comics, the RogueTraderUtah.com. Use the code FATSTACKS at checkout, and you'll get 20% off your pressing, including the already discounted bundles he has posted up there. In conjunction with this, every time the code FATSTACKS is used, $10 is donated to the Comics Curing Cancer campaign in partnership with the American Cancer Society. I get nothing out of this. There's no kickbacks. You're not paying me. I'm not getting paid by the Rogue Trader. This is just a partnership between he and I to help raise money for Comics Curing Cancer, and at the same time help the community out with your pressing costs. So check him out if you're looking for a presser. In the meantime, I think it's time to spin the wheel. The wheel of fish.
While this happens, I'm also going to be on Alan Rue's 100 subscriber giveaway Monday, and after that, I'll be in the hot seat. Not the hot seat. Sorry, Cat Fan Comics Man. Congratulations.
Cat Fan Comics Man. Congratulations, sir. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what you get. Let me move this up here and make me big and grab the box of books. All right. We'll bring this over here. All right, Ryan, you get to help you're going to pull for a Cat Fans Comics Man here. So you're going to tell me a number from the front, a number from the back, or we'll give it some front to back or back to front action and tell me when to stop.
All right. Number from what to what?
Well, please keep, since I have to count that many,
Gotcha.
We'd like to keep it 15 or less if you're going to give me a number. Or
let's do 12.
2, 3, 4. From the front or the back?
From the front.
Love it.
All right. What's up next?
Another number?
Yep. Or back to front, whatever. We're going to pull 6 books all together.
Okay. 2 from the back.
The back 2?
Yep.
Or are you saying the second book from the back?
The second book from the back.
All right.
Then let's go back to the front. Let's do the 5th from the front.
5th from the front.
Back to the front.
2, 4, 5. Okay. 3 more.
6 from the front as well. The one behind that one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 actually becomes 2 because that one was the 5th. So you change the 6, becomes a different book. All right.
And do 4 from the back.
2, 3, 4, and 4 from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. One more book.
One more. Let's do number 10 from the front.
Okay. Nothing from the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Brian LCS is requesting 99.
All right. Make sure I don't get my cord in the way here. All right. Cat Fan Comics Man, let's see what you've got. All right. First up, we have DC Comics Presents Superman and Supergirl. We got Mongol. We got War World. There you go.
Very good. And that's happening right now in Action Comics. More War World.
Then we have some definite 90. I don't even have to. Yeah, I know this is 90s goodness. X-Men issue 31. You know that's 90s. Just look at the women up front.
We spoke about this earlier, and here it is.
Psylocke and her wedgie. And then how about X Factor and the Alliance of Evil?
Yes. Key book.
Next up,
You okay, Rob?
it's an issue of Nonstop Spider-Man. Which issue, I don't know. But like everything else Nonstop Spider-Man, crack cocaine not included. But it is a cover,
great cover.
on Crank.
Great cover. Wasn't a fan of the book.
I don't know what issue it is. It doesn't even say what issue number it is.
I think
Must be
that's
on the
issue
back.
1. I think it's issue 1.
Speaking of issue 1, how about Gwenom versus Carnage?
Ooh. Yes. That's a variant, is it not, Rob? I don't think that's a
no,
normal cover,
this
is it?
This is well, it is the B cover. It's a
Okay.
variant edition.
Yep.
All right, and then for your final book, how about a classic cover? The New Incredible Hulk, number 377.
Featuring Canadian artist Dale Keown. Remy?
Yeah!
Got himself a grail right there. Got himself
Nice.
a grail.
All right. Well, maybe a grail with a little G.
I'd love to have that in a 9.8. All 3 of those copies.
All right. Let me move myself back. It's normal here. As a cat fan, I know I have his information, so if not, I'll ping you. If for some reason I lost it, I'll ping you on IG. All right. Congratulations, sir. Very happy to have you in the winner's circle once again. All right. Having said that, let us go ahead and bring Ryan back up here, and let's get back into some beautiful slabs. Why don't you get them all worked up and hot and bothered again?
All right. So it's more Golden Age, and like I said, I like to collect Golden Age because a lot of it is very immersive. When you look at the pages of some of these books, you can see on the bottom it says, buy war bonds, recycle metal. It's very, you can feel what it was like to read comics back in the 40s, and I like that immersive kind of history. Like, for instance, when I was younger, I would collect these Roman coins.
Right.
It was fun just to be able to hold a piece of history. And with some of the pedigrees, it provides even more of a connection to history because it's a connection to an actual person. So the first one I have to show off here is one of the Promise Collection books.
Ooh, wow.
And this actually was owned by someone who fought in the Korean War, I believe.
Yes.
So just to be able to be tied to something like that is incredibly interesting. And
Sub 100 Action Comics. That is phenomenal. And the 7.0.
Yeah. Now the
Promise Collection was
high grade stuff.
Yeah, so, this might have been at the low end of the
exactly
grades in the Promise Collection. It was insane.
I wanted something that was a big title, a famous title, Action Comics, but at the same time, I couldn't afford any of the real high grade.
You consider Action Comics an important big title, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's only a handful of people who would agree with you.
Oh, the sarcasm today. It's already on the fly.
So it's got Superman cover. It's like you said, under 100. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. It has a pretty bad miscut, which is why I was able to afford it. You can see on the side.
That's not uncommon at all in the Golden Age.
As long as it's not trimmed, it's whatever. It's how it was made. So that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But I wasn't sure if I would ever get into the pedigreed stuff, but when I started reading some of the stories, they were incredibly interesting. And the next one has even more of an interesting story to it. It's one of the Okajima books.
Ooh.
Wow.
And this one it has all the Okajima signifiers on it. It's got the date written, the signature up top, and the code, which nobody completely knows what it means. And right now, there's actually a lot of discussion on the Okajima pedigree on the CGC forums. If you've never read about it, the CGC forums have something like a 75-page thread of discussion only about the Okajima pedigree.
Wow.
And it's so interesting. There's so much it's so much mystery surrounding it. There's so much speculation and research being done that it's just a great read for the history of a person. Her name was Bet Okajima, and she was a Japanese American girl whose family was sent to one of the Japanese internment camps during World War II. And right now, an organization called 50 Objects did some research into who she was, along with some comic collectors. 50 Objects is an organization dedicated to kind of preserving items associated with the internment camps. And what they found out, which kind of added to the mystery of it, is that Bet Okajima was released from her camp in 1943. But the majority of these books were dated 1944, which leaves the question of, were these left in the camp? She had a brother who stayed there longer through the through 44. So were these left with him, or or were these purchased afterwards and they just had the same markings on them? So there's so much mystery surrounding it. It's an incredibly interesting pedigree. It's one of the smallest pedigrees, so the books are harder to get. And
Wow.
And this one also has a war-themed cover, and since it was, it's a pedigree associated with World War II, having a war-themed cover is more in line with kind of the pedigree itself. I guess they're supposed to be Nazis, but they're like your kind of dollar store Kirkland brand Nazis.
Yeah,
It's not really
generic.
clear if they're, but I think they're supposed to be Nazis, and the kids are coming to kick their asses.
Well, this book was from when?
This is from 44.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's really interesting.
It's awesome.
I mean, yeah, because you think about it, man, those are like not exactly. You'd think you only could bring so much stuff with you. A lot of the stuff that that was, these families had to leave so much stuff behind, and didn't get to take heaps of stuff with them.
Yeah. And during the war, of course, everyone was encouraged to recycle their paper for the war effort. So especially the Japanese American citizens, you think there might be more pressure on them to contribute to the war effort to show their loyalty to the country. So to keep comics, which were more or less disposable at the time, they weren't meant to be held on to and collected the way they are now.
All right.
The fact that these survived is incredible.
Awesome.
Indeed.
This is it's probably my favorite book in my collection.
No, the story and everything that goes along with it is what makes it so great, and that's exactly what I love about this show, is getting the opportunity to have some of these stories and stuff that come out, and so thank you for sharing that, and that is just amazing. It would definitely be one of the strong points of my collection if I.
Yep, I was happy with what I got it for. I was ready to spend a lot of money for it, but it was well in line with what I was looking for, and happy to have it.
Yeah.
Oops, wrong book. So then I figured after a book where we're discussing the internment of Japanese American citizens during World War II and some serious topics like that, I'd follow it up with a dick joke.
Oh yes, the old got wood.
Which is, I love funny books like this. Look how proud he is of his wood.
That's right.
The kid is amazing cover.
What's
two
the year
hands.
what's the year on that rifleman? Is that mid 50s?
This is 62 actually. 62.
62. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
So yeah, I like serious books and I like funny books. I'm not picky.
Yes. There's nothing worse than a little homage to pedophilia. Here, little boy, why did you put two hands on my wood?
It's the expression that does it for me.
This
This is one I
big,
thought for
thick
some
wood.
grades. It's a low grade, but it gets the point across.
Oh yes. That might be the
no,
first rifleman. No,
This is not Man Cave. Actually, we've seen that cover once before.
right.
I can't remember who brought it on, but somebody brought that book on once before, and we had this whole thing where actually they explained, talking to some interview that was done later on with the boy the actor who was that boy on that show and said that yes, they knew what they were doing when they posed that shot and everything else. It was all intended.
I didn't know that.
That's the story that was relayed to us. The accuracy and validity, I cannot say. I did not independently verify.
I like to believe it's true.
I can't even attribute as to who it was that told us the story. But just to look on both actors' eyes, on that, the way they're looking at each other on that cover,
Yep.
it's hard to imagine that there's not a little wink, wink going on there.
They know what they're doing.
Right, exactly.
And again, keeping with that theme, I've got Archie beating off 3 guys.
Yes, excellent.
Another funny one. Make sure I get
the way that vernacular has changed over the years, like vernacular for that matter. It almost reminds you of you had to beat off these other guys. It reminds you of almost. Oh, bye, Chris. Almost reminds you of that Avengers with you just need some hard dick, shellhead or whatever.
My favorite one is I don't have it yet. I slab almost all the books in my collection, but there's one book I'm looking for that I would never slab because the content is inside the book. Batman 66. Are you familiar with that one?
Not off the top of my head.
Joker's boner. That's the one where the entire issue is everyone talking about Joker's boner. And by then they mean mistake.
Right,
he was
exactly.
committing a crime and he made a big mistake. And the headline in the Gotham City paper is Gotham laughs at Joker's boner or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Again, how vernacular has changed.
Yep. It's a hilarious book. Oh, okay. I'm a New England Patriots fan, so I'm used to being the bad guy. Everyone hates us.
Well, you can say that that's only a recent thing that's come about. I mean, you did suffer throughout most of the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s.
I remember watching the Patriots-Packers Super Bowl, and that was... Oof, we got
watching the Patriots all stack up on the line against the Bears and watching the fridge just walk right through you all.
Yep. We had some rough times, but for a while, people hated us because we couldn't lose.
They still do because of Belichick, right?
This is a book that I feel kind of makes me the bad guy because, like I said, I'm not a big superhero fan, and this is another big grail that I think a lot of people would just die to have, and some asshole like me has one when I've never read an X-Men book before.
Oh yeah, X-Men #1, yeah.
Yep. This is just a book I bought as an investment, which I love to have. I mean, it is an important book in Silver Age comics.
Really? What's the significance of that book?
And again, in line with the Fantastic Four 5, I have X-Men, Fantastic Four stuff. I love buying for investments because I think there's a lot of room there in the MCU for them.
Well, yeah. So that book in a 3.0 for those of you viewing at home and want to know what we're talking about here. All right, now the 90-day average on it sales is $12,280. If we look at
$4,000.
Yeah, if we look at the for the year, a longer period of time here. Let's see, back to it because I accidentally hit the wrong button. 11,500. It's been moving up. It's actually moved up this year as opposed to a lot of books that have been going down this year. So this is one of the ones that tells you what kind of blue chip it is when it will continue to go up while other books are going down because of financial reasons.
It's going to hurt to sell one day. It's going to hurt to get rid of this one. But for instance, on I want to think it was Comic Connect maybe. Comic Connect had a Terrific Comics 5 up for auction. It was either Comic Link or Comic Connect. And that's Terrific Comics 5 and Chamber of Chills 19 are my big grails right now. And that Terrific 5 was a 5.0 that sold for, I think, $13,500 or something like that. So it's going to take selling a book like this to get one of those big golden age grails. Yeah. And that's what this is for.
That's what I look at every time I see myself looking at Startling Comics 49. I just go, yeah, that's going to take a...
And a lot of these books I have, I don't, like I said, I make good money, but I don't make the kind of money I have to buy a lot of books like this. So I hustle. When I go
Yeah.
to Comic Cons, 90% of the books I buy are for resale. I have my own press. I send hundreds of books a year into CGC for grading. I look for books that are maybe undergraded by the dealers. I bundle things and pay cash. If you put in the work, you can make money that supports the hobby. And that's how you get a lot of the bigger books.
Right. The hobby can pay for itself in many cases.
I keep hearing this, is that what I have to be willing to do is let go of the books as opposed to just collect them. And I have a tendency to buy books where I'll sit there and say, oh, let me buy these. I'll sell them later and I'll flip. And then I go, yeah, I really don't want to sell those now.
I have the same problem. You have to push yourself to sell it, because a lot of times, rare Golden Age books come up for sale, and I don't have the money, but I have a bunch of books that I wish I would have sold.
And it doesn't like some of those rare Golden Age books, they don't come up on a regular and consistent basis. It's here's an opportunity. There's 12 of them that exist on the census. If you want one, this is one of 12. You better
I'm trying to push myself to sell
wait.
more.
Yeah. Great book.
Okay.
Chris over has always said that the X-Men #1 was a stupid book that no one should own it.
I was literally going to say, arguably one of the most important books to a certain generation. I know Generation X, that fell in love with Wolverine and the X-Men in the mid '80s. That's the holy grail right there.
My wife would be one of them. I'm not an X-Men guy, but my wife very much all the X characters, just loves them all.
Right.
I'm a weirdo.
I showed off a lot of silver and gold, but I do collect modern for investment too. And this is in the 9.8. I missed on it, but I have an Ultimate Fallout 4, which I think is a big book. For modern books, this is the real thing. This is worth holding on to for a while.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not completely opposed to moderns.
Yeah, Ultimate Fallout 4 is one of those books that was under the radar for the most part, really up until about 2.5 3 years ago when Sony dropped the video game. We saw all of a sudden it really start to gain interest, because all of a sudden it was like, oh, okay, this is legit. There's gonna be appearance of this outside of that, and then when you get it, just became a book that just went crazy. And now you're talking about the 9.8, which is everybody talks about. It's tough to get the 9.8 or whatever, and it is, but there's still a lot of them out there. I mean, there are almost as many 9.8s on census as there are 9.6s. So
right.
But
I suspect another bump after Into the Spider-Verse 2 comes out. But once Miles is introduced on the big screen in live action in the MCU, that's when that book is going to take its one more gigantic leap. Like, because after the first Spider-Verse, a 9.8 could have been found for anywhere between $400 and $700, and then COVID happened, and then the video game happened, and then it's just off to the races. And the 1 in 25 variant as well.
Oh, the 1 in 25 is just ridiculous.
That's just gone. That's like a brand new vehicle, in the 9.8.
I have a story about that variant. I had a Batman 251 graded that somebody wanted to trade me for, and I was like, he'd asked me what I want for it, and he showed me his books. He had a Fantastic Four 52 in a 4.0, and he had the 1 in 25 Ultimate Fallout 4 in a 9.4. So me being, an older, like Silver Age, Golden Age collector, I took the FF 52, and I passed on a $5,000 book or something like that now.
Yeah, well, I mean, even still, this book, you're right. I mean, 9.6 right now. It's the year-long average on this one. It was up at one point. It was hitting around 1,200. It's recently come down to just below $1,000 right now for a 9.6 on this book. But interestingly enough, as Remy does bring up, if somebody did want to win one, there's a 9.4 copy that's being given away by the Link Squad and Mark's Legion of Comics, friends of ours and partners with us. So you just have to be a member of their channels. Go check out their videos Link Squad and We Are Legion for more information on how you could potentially win your own Ultimate Fallout 4 9.4, which isn't shabby in its own right. Only has an FMV of about $750. So
For now.
for now, yeah. I mean, and really, you're going to see. I think Chris, you're right. You're going to see this book. It'll get a little bit of a bump with Into the Spider-Verse 2, but when Sony, because I assume Sony's going to be the one that's going to do it, so based on who has property rights. But when we see Miles Morales hit the theaters,
Look out.
then it's going to be it, because this is a legit character now. He is the mainstay of the new young talent, and is not going to go away, and is definitely going to be the grail for this generation. So
I believed in.
Yeah.
And I remember picking these up. You could pick them up polybagged for $100 a piece. When I was buying these up, I bought 3 of them. And that first bump you said, like with the video game, I ended up selling off 2 for probably not enough money. I sold a couple 9.6s for I think $500 each. One of them was double signed by, is it Donnie Cates, or is it Cates or
Clayton? Yeah, Clayton Crane, Pacelli. Clayton Pacelli. Yeah.
Oh,
Clayton,
Mark Bagley and Clayton Crane. That's what it's
Right.
Okay.
And I got I think I sold like $500 or $600. So
yeah, I mean, I picked
on that one
not too long ago. Oh yeah, I picked up my copy about 2 years ago for about $450, and it was signed by Clayton Crane at the time, in a 9.6. And since then, I've added Bagley and Brian Michael Bendis signatures to my copy. I'm really kind of not too keen about setting it in for any more signatures at this point. I'm not, as the value creeps over 1,000, I'm not too keen on cracking books much and risking them.
Actually, that reminds me of something else. Let me grab one book right over here.
Yeah. Chris, we're happy your connection was able to return to us, and you're coming on back.
No, I got a phone call with a potential job offer, so I had to take that. Mm-hmm.
We understand that, indeed. And Remy, yep, there you go. We shilled for you, so timestamp to pass along to IG. Great, very good.
Yes.
So you talked about cracking books for signatures. Well, this was a 9.6. And I cracked this to get the signatures from Wendy and Richard, and it came back as a 9.2, but the only note on it was foxing. But I don't think it originally. Do you know if a book can get foxing while it's slabbed if it didn't originally have foxing?
Whether or not they caught it or not, that's the question, right? But yeah, I know that CGC, once you start to get page foxing, that 9.2 is the maximum grade you can get, because I had that happen on a book myself.
Ryan, did you end up having that signed by both Richard and Wendy Pinney?
Yes.
Okay, that's terrific. Yeah, I am a big fan of ElfQuest. It was one of the runs I put together as a teenager. I really enjoy the, on the cover you have Cutter and Skywise. Yeah, that's those are the original. Some of the early ElfQuest stuff. There was also a magazine size black and white ElfQuest book that came out before Marvel reprinted them all under the Epic banner in the mid 80s. But yeah, that's awesome. I've never seen a Richard and Wendy Pinney signature before. That's pretty cool.
Actually, and what I'm wondering maybe is I trust the graders. I like CGC as a company, and I trust them. But at the same time, the way this the material that this book is made out of is different from a lot of other comic covers, and I think there is some natural discoloration to the blue in the back. So I'm just wondering if maybe they thought it was foxing, but it wasn't. So I'm tempted to try to maybe send this back in. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I know I've had books go up and down, right? Yep. Most of the books I've sent in for signatures that were slabbed, they came back the same grade they were. But I did have a Harley Quinn, the Mad, what is it? The Mad, whatever, I can't remember what the hell it was. What was like
Mad Love?
Yeah, Mad Love.
Mad Love.
That was a 9.8 or 9.6, and it took a grade drop going in. But then I've also had a Spider-Man 2099 that was a 9.6 take a grade bump up to a 9.8 getting signed.
Yep, so I had an X-Men 221 that I had cracked to get signed by Mark Silvestri, and it came back in 9.8.
Yeah.
So
I've
that was
right
great.
now today I'd say probably I'm of the grade changes, I'm 2 down and 1 up. Because I also had a Batman book that went in and got remarked and stuff that went down. The first Dan Jurgens cover, um, with first Killer Croc on the cover. I can't remember the hell the issue number, but it doesn't really matter.
Then to make up for this grade decrease, I found another signed ElfQuest copy or signed Fantasy Quarterly copy in a bin, ungraded.
Mm-hmm.
It was like $200, and I bought that and I sent it into CBCS to get it verified and graded, and that one did come back in 9.6. So
Nice.
I do still have a 9.6 graded, signed. It's just
There
not
you
the
go.
one I sent in that I expected it to be. So
Right. Oh, there you go.
it all kind of worked out. And this is a fun one. I like this.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Modern stuff.
yes.
But it's a unique cover. It's the kind of Virgin Disney Marvel cover.
Yeah.
Is he a cover
Marvel
artist
1000?
Roberto Ramos that
Yeah.
did this? Yes.
Sounds right. Yep. Humberto
Yeah.
Ramos.
Right, and I believe there's a black and white sketch version of that as well. But yeah, that's a big book you're holding in your hands. Wow.
I'm
Very,
a
very
big
cool.
Disney fan, so my buddies and I go to the parks every year, Disney and Universal. So having kind of Disney Marvel crossover
Right.
on a pretty kind of hard to get book.
Right. I like that they put the franchise next to the king of all franchises, right?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yep.
Spider-Man and Mickey Mouse side by side. That's terrific.
And you mentioned the king of all franchises. This is not an exciting book, but I like this because it's Amazing Fantasy 14. And I just think nobody
amazing
had any
adult
idea at the time.
fantasies.
Yep.
It's
Nobody had
amazing.
any idea at the time that the next book was going to bring a multi-billion-dollar character.
Yeah.
So
Right.
this
Yep.
is kind of the last book before comics really kind of got Marvel comics really changed.
For those of you who are interested in working on a run of Amazing Fantasy, 1 to 14 is really affordable.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, 15 can kick your ass.
I remember looking for 15s. I was on the fence about buying them. I was bidding on them on Heritage. And they just kind of got a little away from me, and I never ended up getting one. And then it took off.
It's the magazine that respects your intelligence.
Amazing adult
Amazing
fantasy.
15 and Fantastic Four 1 were both books I wish I had been able to get, but
Yeah.
I would think that a name like Amazing Adult Fantasies today.
a lot of these books, if they were on the market today, they would be completely different.
Exactly. Dear
Concept
Penthouse.
Rob,
Yes.
Gene has a question here. Newbie question. Why is grading from 9.0 and up in 0.2 increments compared to lower? Yeah.
Because that's what they set up.
Yeah, that's
because it really doesn't make any sense in the grand scheme of thing. But all the grading I've ever seen, they really, even cards and everybody else, they do the same thing where they do these smaller incrementations at the top, and it probably has something to do with once you get up there in the top range where the prices really shift dramatically. You're really talking about some very subtle minor differences in quality and condition between a 9.8 and a 9.4 or a 9.2. I mean, really, a 9.2 is still a near mint book, right? It's just what 9.2 might have three or four minor defects versus 3 minor defects versus 2 minor defects on a 9.8. So it's really they're slicing it very small. Whereas when you start getting down you start going down even more experienced graders, I think people that I talk to who aren't serious, but they're still experienced with doing this for a while, when you start getting into the 6 through 4 range, it starts to get a little bit more dicey trying to determine what grade is this really going to come out to be when you're trying to do your own predictions, because you're talking about a lot of books that you start talking about like, well, how long is the color break increase? Or, does it have, or is it because of accumulation of other defects and all this other stuff? So, yeah, Gene, I tell you what, if you find out the real reason instead of my speculation, let us know. come back and report.
Yeah, it's really more important for modern books just because they shouldn't really have a lot of damage to them. The more recent the book, the less damage it should have. So one little tick is going to make a difference. So,
Yeah, so they really kind of slice it. Yeah.
Yep, I buy a lot of books for resale conventions, so I have to take a look really closely at those. And a lot of the time I hit, but not always. You got to take losses sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes
because there are things where you can look at a book and a book looks really, really good, but there are certain things, at least in CGC's world, where there's a cap, the best grade you can get on something. So when you start having a color breaking crease that is longer than 2.5 inches, it's going to set the grade cap at a certain height. It could be the only thing wrong with the book.
Yep.
But it's going to be down in the, a 5, 6 grade because of that crease. Or in the case of, like we talked about, foxing, if it starts to have page foxing, the highest grade a book can get is a 9.2. That's it.
Like that Exciting Comics 39 I showed off earlier, the amount of cover missing from the back, it's going to cap out at a 1. It won't get higher than a 1, no matter how good that front cover looked. And that book's probably a 3 at least if the complete back cover was there. So presents great, but that's what they got to do.
Yep. Cool beans. All right.
I think that's my last of the slabs. I've got
all right.
Yeah, I've got some other like raws, but nobody wants to see
No,
those.
that's fine. That's great. That is a great showing. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on and sharing those with us. That was a good mix of books between Golden Age and Silver and some of the other stuff. I really appreciate you coming on and share that with us. Anything
interesting, I'll add to my collection, and I've got a lot more coming back from CGC. So it's been 8 months, so they're going to be due back eventually.
I forgot to have this going the whole time. Guys, don't forget, check out Ryan on IG at Sultan of Slabs. Give him a follow and check out the books that he's posting up there. He's always posting books as he gets new stuff into the PC. So give him a good follow there on Instagram.
Instagram's the only way I can show off my books. So it's great to get feedback on them and
know that
people are interested.
We're always here. We're always happy to have folks share their slabs with the community. Let's give away some more books, shall we? Let me bring up the window. And guys, let us do hashtag slab it.
Slab it.
Go ahead and knock that in there into the chat. And we will go ahead and give ourselves another winner on some comic books. For myself, guys, coming up I'll be going on vacation, but don't worry, the content won't stop. We've got stuff in the pipeline building up, all kinds of slab openings or comic book mail calls, including while I'm gone, one of my new favorite Golden Age book in my collection will be opened on one of the mail calls during this month. And SlabHub will continue. Next week, I'll still be here as we bring on Comic Mag's Musing, I believe, as I'm checking yes, Comic Mag's Musing will be joining us next week. And then Chris will be handling the controls while I'm away when Sector 2815 comes back to SlabHub. So that's going to be a great day. And of course, there'll be box openings throughout Mondays and Thursdays. Tonight, swing by old Chip Getler's channel and check out Banter. Will be on from 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, or 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, over on Chip Getler's channel, running probably till God knows when. Anywho, all right. So we got 20 out of 23. I'm going to give it another 10 seconds. Chris is going to have a co-host, Remy. It is going to be Gary B, the casual comic guy, is going to be joining him, filling in as co-host. All right, let us go. Remy would have come on and done nothing but Spidey's powdered tumblers. So
just in the background, just kind of.
He would have just been sitting on the side. Hey, you know what would go really good with that comic is a Spidey's powdered tumbler.
Remy's got a great sense of humor. Yeah. And,
all right, let's go ahead and pull this here. Wheel of fish. So everybody loves the UHF reference, and our winner is Capo Comics. Congratulations, Capo Comics. Let's get myself into this, and Chris, it's your turn, sir.
Okay, we're going to start with Wayne Gretzky's number 99. So we'll go 9 from the front. I had you there for a second. Then 9 from the front and 9 from the rear.
Well, you had me at, I don't know what the hell Wayne Gretzky's number is, so there you go.
He played in California for like a decade. Oh my god!
It's
Anyway,
hockey. I'm
come on.
Californian.
Well, he's the
Come
greatest
on.
Canadian of all time. Never
2,
mind. All right.
3, 4, 6, 7.
That was for Brian LCS, by the way.
I just not a
Okay.
hockey guy.
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's go back to front. And now, both books where your finger is splitting, Rob, please. Let's get a couple comics, a couple good hot books here. And front to back. Now, bright and early, and both of those books as well where your finger was, please, Rob. And Brian LCS is pointing out, say, let's go Rangers. Gretzky was a Ranger for the final part of his career.
All right.
All right, let's roll. I'm sensing some ASM.
First up, we have the Avengers 161
Ooh.
attacked by the Ant-Man.
Oh my
This
goodness.
is courtesy of Doc Man Cave Comics.
Wow, what's going on with the Scarlet Witch? My goodness, she's got a lot of
ants all over her.
She's got an ant problem.
I got ants in my pants. I got ants in my pants.
I think they're going to be everywhere.
Oh, wait, it was squirrels in my
Oh, yeah.
pants. That was the Phineas and Ferb
Right.
song. Sorry.
Right. And
All
the
right.
boys was something else, but anyway.
Next, we have a book, a signed book from David Walker. We have Power Man and Iron Fist. Look at that. A beautiful
Oh,
signature right across
signed
the
in
bottom
baby
there.
blue. That's nice.
Yeah, with a little COA on the backside.
Very nice.
Congratulations. Oh. You get a special prize on this one. So this is the Incredible Hulk 214.
Oh, Jack
The
of
Jack of
Hearts.
Hearts is wild. But in the backside of this, we have the one and only one. It was my sampler I had made for myself just to see. You get a very large SlabHub sticker, the only SlabHub sticker that I've ever had produced.
'Cause this is a magnet.
That's right. So you got something
Wow.
special there. Congratulations. And we have the facsimile. I make sure I say it's the facsimile.
Called it. But what a
Amazing
facsimile.
Spider-Man 238.
Yeah. Awesome. Called it. Little JR love right there on that cover.
We got Secret Empire #1.
Oh, this is where Cap says, Hail Hydra.
Well, he actually says the Captain
Yeah, I
America
know.
one, but
Yeah, but still
and
just controversial.
DC Superstars presents Teen Titans.
Oh, you got some 70s love in your hand there. Very nice.
Good mix of books. Congratulations to you, sir. That is definitely not the right backing board. I can tell. As you guys know, many of you guys know, I get books that I order and that go into here. Sometimes my mystery box stuff goes in here. Obviously, we must have reused a backing board because the back of this one, the backing board says Captain America 1988, issue number 345. That
That is not an 88 book.
not 1988 Captain America. Interesting. Anyways, cup of comics. There you go. Very much. Let me label that. I believe I have your information as well. If not, I will reach out to you. Cup O Comics.
Congratulations, Will. Hope you're happy.
Congratulations. Yes, absolutely. So much. And again, Ryan, thank you for coming on the show. I hope that you enjoyed yourself or had at least a mildly decent time.
I had a
It
great
wasn't
time. Thank you very much.
unpleasant. Everybody in the chat who's come on out, we appreciate you all very much. Thank you all. Again, make sure you join us again next week, this same time. Tell a friend, bring a friend. What the hell? Comics Magazine bring in some books for us. And until next time, make sure you collect what you want. Don't listen to anybody, including me. I was a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. Thanks for watching.